Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this information session on the Master ICT in Business and the Public Sector. My name is Joost Visser. I'm the Program Manager, and I will try to explain everything about this Master to you in the coming half hour. So, what we will do in this session is first I will give you a little bit of the motivation for the existence of this Master and why you might want to be a part of it, and explain the background of what we're trying to achieve with this Master. Then we will go a little bit more in depth into the content of the Master. What kind of components does it have? What kind of courses are being taught? Then we will go into the employment perspectives that this Master offers you. And in the end there will be time for some question and answer. So actually during the presentation you can already submit your answers into the chat, and we will accumulate them to the end, and then I will try to answer all your questions. So let me take first one step back and show this quote to you. Software is eating the world. This is already more than a decade ago that Mark Andreessen said this. Software is eating the world, and what he meant was that at that point in time it was becoming clear slowly that basically everything in business and everything in society was being digitalized and was becoming going online and becoming software based. So he said companies in every industry need to assume that a software revolution is coming. Well, that was more than a decade ago, and of course this has happened. Software has eaten the world, in using his terminology. And what does this mean is that our society now is an information society based on ICT, information and communication technology. So all economic and social activity at the moment is heavily dependent on ICT, and we all know it and use it and are involved in it. And that means also that in the economy, all kinds of sectors, retail, manufacturing, healthcare, banking, education, and government, of course, is imbued with IT. And that means that there's a large need, actually, in all these organizations for young professionals that understand IT and know how to apply it, know how to create and realize the opportunities that IT offers, but also, on the flip side, know how to control the risks that come with the use of IT. So in short, people that know how to master the responsible use of IT, and that's what this Master focuses on. So some of the things that we cover in this Master are things like this. So we, for instance, ask a very central question is, what value does a given software system have for a given organization? And that value comes about in many aspects. So first of all, what's the functionality of a system? What does it do exactly? What services, what business processes are supported by it? So that's the functional side of IT. Then the usability. Can the functionality be used with ease, without effort? Do you need a lot of training to be able to use it or not? There's the operational side. What does it cost to deploy software, to run it without incidents, without bugs? But also at the longer term, how can we keep a system running, keep it functional, keep it usable over time? How can you adapt it to new circumstances? How can you make it scale? If the business grows, how can we make the systems grow? And of course, the responsible use. How can you make sure that the systems are accessible to all users or citizens? How can you avoid it to harm people? So these are questions that are addressed in this Master through all kinds of topics. Business topics like entrepreneurship, privacy, cybersecurity, architecture are more technical topics. Strategy, a business topic again. Data science topics like data-driven policy making. These are the topics that are, for example, coming up in this Master. So to put a bit more structure to it, so this is a educational program that offers business management and computer science education together for people that want to be in the future IT leaders, consultants, managers, etc. And that means that on the one hand, we focus on how to manage and apply IT in an organizational context, and on the other hand, how to use IT in all kinds of businesses to enable innovation in all kinds of business functions like marketing, operations, finance, strategy, and of course, IT itself. As you know from the title, ICT in business and the public sector, we look at how this works out in private organizations, profit-based, but also in the public sector. And there we talk not just about government, but a lot of other organizations that operate in the public sector. So we look at these both sides, and I will explain later that you can actually specialize in one of these directions if you like. So this means that when you come to this program, you probably have some computer science background already, might have done a bachelor in computer science, but might also have a background in a more mixed discipline, like business informatics. Here in Leiden we have informatics and economy, for instance, or information systems background, software engineering. These are the type of things, the type of backgrounds people have, sometimes more purely computer science, sometimes more mixed. And you come to this program on the one hand to expand your knowledge of IT. So this is around the topics of software architecture and evolution. You will learn about cybersecurity and privacy, modeling large-scale systems, data mining, analysis. But on the other hand, you will develop business and organizational skills. So there we talk about strategy of an organization, marketing, accounting. On the public sector side, policy and decision-making, technology and operations management, consulting and entrepreneurship. Those are the topics that we address and that you will be getting courses about. And some of these courses address those topics, let's say, in a focused manner. Others have a more blended character. And yeah, this will lead to training you, educating you to become a versatile IT professional that really understands how IT and business are intertwined, how they influence each other. Also, you will learn a lot in this master about how to conduct yourself professionally in organizations, in organizational context. You will get a managerial experience and managerial skills, but also you will get a lot of science. You will be able to do all these things in an evidence-based and science-driven manner. Here, there's a little bit about the structure of the program. So to be able to actually cater for various backgrounds that people may have, we have a program with a couple of options in it. So what you see here is basically in the middle at the top, that's the common courses. Those are the courses that everybody that enrolls in the program will take. But depending on your background, you will take one of these foundational modules that you see on the left side. So for instance, if you have already a fairly strong technical computer science background, you will kind of level up on the business side a little bit by taking the module Foundation Business, which prepares you well for the other courses. But on the other side, if you are a bit stronger on the business side in your background and you're missing a little bit of the technical skills, you will do the Foundation ICT to level up on that side. Now, if you come from a strong blended background, again, the example is the computer science and informatics bachelor here in Leiden, then you will not take any of these foundation modules because your foundation is already there, and instead you have space for some additional elective courses. So, foundation module, common courses, and then there's the elective courses where you can choose according to your needs or your interests to deepen your knowledge in particular topics. Well, some example of these courses, for instance, for the common courses, you will be learning about IT architectures, but that's, let's say, a technical core course, but also leading and managing people, which goes towards more the soft skills around ICT in business and the public sector. There's also capstone cases and machine learning for business analytics are examples of courses in this common part of the curriculum. Then when you go into the electives, you might, for instance, go into advances in data mining if you want to focus on the data part of things. You might go into systems and software security if that has your interest, etc. And then there is two parts for specialization. So depending on whether you want to specialize in the ICT in business specialization or the ICT in the public sector specialization, you will choose one of those. And I will explain a little bit more about these in one of the upcoming slides. And then you close off your program with a research project, which is more or less half a year, where you run your own research project, typically hosted by a company or government organization. And I will also tell you a little bit more about that in the upcoming slides. So first of all, choosing your specialization, so ICT in business or ICT in the public sector. To make that choice, so it's a limited part of the curriculum that is different, because actually in government, in business, organizational issues are very common to some extent, but still there's a bit of specialization to do on one side or the other. So, and to make your choice, one thing you might want to know and have in the back of your mind is that actually about 25% of our economy is actually in the public sector. The public sector is huge. And it's not just about, let's say, becoming a public functionary for the government. There's also a lot of other organizations that are active in the public sector. For instance, all the large consultancy firms are active in the public sector to advise the public sector about strategy, about IT, about security, etc. But also there's, of course, NGOs, non-governmental organizations in the public sector that, where a lot of activity is going on. Then on the other hand, of course, ICT in business, digital strategy and effectively executing digital strategy is nowadays essential for commercial success. So clearly there's a lot to be done there as well. So as examples of courses on the public sector side, there's digital government citizen interaction. So that's about how the government can actually help citizens in their lives through digital means. And for instance, on the side of ICT in business, there is AI for strategy, which is about how to use AI techniques to build a business strategy, how you can employ AI to, for instance, do data analytics that helps you underpin a good business strategy, or help you do technology forecasting, for instance. So this is to give you an idea of the choices to be made. So you only need to make that choice later, of course, but at some point you will be asked to choose within this master for one of these specializations, which implies that you will go for one set of 15 EC or another set of 15 credit courses. To give it a little bit more of a face, this master, so you see my face there. I teach software evolution in the master, and there's a lot of other teachers that come in and teach different courses, and we draw from different sources, let's say, where our teachers come from. So some of them are actually part of our computer science department here at Leiden University. And they will be teaching, for instance, cybersecurity, like Olga there in the corner. Others are from the Faculty of Governance and Global Affairs in The Hague, where they have an Institute for Public Administration and, for instance, data-driven policy making taught by Sarah in the other corner. We also have people that teach with us, but that are also active in industry and bringing in their industry experience into the classroom. So, for instance, machine learning for business analytics is taught by Mark, and he is also the head of AI at Toyota, so in the automotive industry. And another example is Christoph at the top for capstone cases. Capstone cases is a course where you are trained in consultancy skills, in teamwork and solving issues for businesses. And he is actually active as a consultant 4 days per week, and 1 day per week he is with us to teach capstone cases. So bringing in a lot of experience in the classroom. So these courses are about theory, about science, but also about applying and about experience, getting a nice blend of these things into the classroom and into all the assignments that you will be doing there. Another important part of the curriculum is the research projects, where you actually do your own research, ending up in a thesis. So this is about 6 to 7 months in your last year that you do this. Usually students do this in company, meaning that they're hosted by some organization, either in the government or in a commercial organization, and they're hosted there for that period to work on their research. So it's a research internship, where you on the one hand get to see how an organization operates, you get access to their resources in terms of other people to talk with, other data, etc. And then you will design, execute, and defend your research project in the end. You will be investigated some kind of problem, you will probably make a design of, or even an implementation of a solution, and validate that in the organization. The validation part is very important in the thesis work that we do, where you empirically evaluate your solution and see whether it really works or not, and how it can be generalized outside the boundaries of the organization where you've been working. You will be supported in this project by both academic supervisors and a company supervisor. You will be prepared for it with courses on research methods and with instructions and project pitches in the so-called masterclass, where we prepare you for this work. So this is actually a very exciting part, and where everything comes together in this master. Here are some example theses that have been written in the past by our students as part of these research projects. And actually what this shows is the versatility of the topics that we are tackling. So about chatbots, dashboards, operating models for AI companies, Scrum band from a practitioner point of view, something about access control, so it has to do with security, of course, data security, process mining, agility, well, all kinds of topics are there. So, and we have the staff and the faculty and the supervisors that can support you into diving into those topics and doing great research about that, which then ends in a thesis. A little bit about the education experience that we have to offer. So the program is not very large. About 40 students come in every year. Some of them come in September, some in February. We have 2 moments in the year where you can enroll. And that allows us a very interactive way of teaching, where you're not just sitting in big classrooms among hundreds of others. No, you are actually face-to-face with the teacher, very interactive, working also on practical assignments, getting a lot of support and exchange and discussion also with your peers about all the things you're learning. And yeah, that allows us to really feed you with both the scientific part and also give you a lot of practical parts in the courses. We have very strong ties to industry, to practice. Many of the lecturers, as I just mentioned before, are actually active in companies or in the government, and they share their experience. They bring that into the classroom. We also organize company visits, where you actually go to organizations and find out what's going on there. The capstone cases, which I mentioned just before, these are very interesting courses where you as teams go into organizations. You are challenged by a business owner of a business problem with an issue to be solved. You work on that together in interaction with that organization, and then you bring and present your solution back to the organization. And it's always a very nice projects to do. You do actually 3 of those cases throughout the 2 years of this master. And of course, many of the internships are in company, which also gives you the strong interaction with practice. There's also strong ties to research, so we're embedded in Leiden University in the Leiden Institute of Advanced Computer Science, which is the computer science department of Leiden University, and also part of our program is organized by the Faculty of Governance and Global Affairs. And the research going on there will also be brought into the classroom, of course, and this way we ensure you have a strong scientific basis for the things that you'll learn. So both practice-oriented and a strong scientific basis. students can you expect there? What students are typically attracted to this program, and will you meet there in the classroom? Typically they have at least some technical background, Bachelor of Computer Science, for instance, sometimes a more mixed degree, as I mentioned before. Also from the Universities of Applied Sciences, the HBO in Dutch, some students come to us. But there you have to be aware that we have a minimum grade point average for entry. Why do students come? Well, typically students that come to our program, they like technology, but they also have this strong need to see how that technology actually brings value to people. So that's why they're interested in seeing how that works out in an organizational setting. That's why they're interested in more than just the technology, but how the technology gets applied, and that implies an interest in managerial and organizational skills, an interest in strategy, in communication, in working with people, and things like that. So if you're looking for, a scientific foundation with considerable depth, but also an international orientation and very practice-oriented master, this might be the master for you. There's also extracurricular activities, so they're not organized by me or by the teachers, but actually they're student-led. And here there's 3 examples that I have on this slide. So, for instance, the entrepreneurship course that we offer is organized in collaboration with PLANT, which is the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship here at Leiden University. And then within PLANT, there's PLANT Students, which is a student association for students that are interested in innovation and entrepreneurship, are maybe, contemplating maybe at some point starting their own business or working at a startup. And PLANT Students is an ideal place to then go to, connect with people. They offer a lot of events, courses that help you furthering that. Also, Science Meets Business. It's a networking organization, you could say, once created by alumni of our faculty, and it brings together people in business, for instance, from the organizations here in the campus, the businesses here in the campus, together with students to talk about all kinds of interesting topics, and also to do networking, which, for instance, helps you finding internships or just being exposed to entrepreneurial spirit that is around here. Then there's Nexus, which is the study organization, which organizes workshops, in-house days, social drinks, all kinds of activities, specifically for the students of this program and the associated Bachelor Computer Science and Economics. So a lot of things going on. Then let's get to the employment perspectives. You might be interested in it as well. And actually, I can say that the employment perspectives for our alumni are actually excellent. So typically students that finalize our program, if they do not have a job yet already before they finish, they will have it within a month afterwards. It's a very the skill set that you acquire here is very much sought after by all kinds of organizations. And here I have a list of roles that some of our alumni have taken up. So from consultant in strategy and architecture at a consultancy firm to, for instance, a full stack developer at a financial institute, all kinds of roles have been taken up by our students. And typically they are roles that are really on this interface between technology and the business, so where they can really make a difference in translating the needs from the business to IT and vice versa, and operating on that interface and having skill sets in both these areas is a great asset to have, and the employability of our alumni is a testimony to that. All right, to summarize, and I hope in the meantime you have already typed in some questions in the chat, because that's what's going to be after this, and otherwise I hope you will still do that. It's a fairly unique program where you get a blend of managerial, organizational, and technical courses, where you combine science, business, and technology in this program. A fairly international group of students is attracted by this program. It's a small program which allows us to be very interactive with the students and also very experiential, meaning a lot of practical work being done as well, so that you can not only absorb the theory one way, but that we actually work together on all kinds of interesting projects. It's a 2-year program with considerable depth. It provides scientific foundation, but also a lot of practical relevance. And our teaching body brings in a lot of experience from the industry, and the employment perspectives, as I said, are very good. So I hope I have given you enough information to make a decision about whether you want to enroll in this program. If not, there's a lot of additional sources. I listed a couple here, so you can go to the website, you can go to the e-prospectus, find more information. And if you do not read there what you're looking for, you're always welcome to send us an email to this email address, and then we will try to answer your questions. And often, actually, when we have students approaching us, not sure whether they are really admissible to the program or whether it's really for them, we actually set up a small video call with them and talk a little bit about it, and you can get a little bit more depth into the discussion of whether this is the master for you or not. Hopefully you have some questions for me. Yes. All right, so let me read it. Multiple questions all rolled into one, so I will take them one by one. Are the specializations planned in such a way that allow for a double specialization? That is actually possible. It is actually possible to do a double specialization, meaning you both do the ICT in business and the ICT in the public sector. That can be combined. It is possible, and the scheduling does allow it. But of course, you have to pay a little bit attention. So when you do enroll and when you start the program, it's good to indicate to us that you are actually going to do this double specialization, and we will kind of look over your shoulder that you're indeed picking up the right topics in the right point, so that you don't get scheduling issues later on. It's quite possible. Will parts of the master be based in Den Haag? Yes, so parts of the master are based in Den Haag. So in The Hague in English. The Faculty of Governance and Global Affairs is located there at the Wijnhaven building, which is very close to Central Station in Den Haag, and also their courses are taught there. So for some courses you will commute to The Hague, which is, if you take the right train, 11 minutes from station to station, and then a 5-minute walk at most, I think, to the building in The Hague. So that's actually quite close by. When is the master open to applications? So you're always open to applications, but of course there's a deadline for when you have to submit your applications to be considered for the next batch of students. So we have a batch that you can come in either in February or in September, and I think on the website you have the exact dates for when you have to have filed your admission to be considered for enrolling. And that's a little bit different depending on whether you are, I think, from within the Netherlands or outside. I'm not 100% sure about that, but the dates might be slightly different. So make sure to look up the exact dates. Another question. So there's a question about somebody who has friends who studied the bachelor informatiekunde, so information science or information systems, or I'm not quite sure what the name would be in English, and that does cover, whether that covers similar topics or how is it different. So yes, there are, this is kind of the type of bachelors I was alluding to earlier, that are a blend of let's say computer science and organizational topics, and typically those prepare very well for this master. So this master will go into more depth, and when we talk about the foundation modules, it is likely we would have to look at your courses exactly, but if you did the bachelor informatiekunde, it's likely that you do not need to do any of those foundation modules, or you do a kind of a combination of those, so that we can really tailor your program to your background in that sense. So yeah, that's a good preparation for this master in general. No more questions at this point. I will hang on a little bit. Maybe some of you are still inspired to type something in. If not, then we will be going to the end of the session. Well, it's already late in the day, at least here, not in all time zones. But thank you for attending this session. I hope it was informative. And if you have further questions, please consult the links that I showed, and send us an email if the answers are not there. You're very welcome to do that. As I said, we are a fairly small program, so that also means we can be interactive in the lead up to your enrollment. So hope to have convinced you that this is the right master for you, and hope to welcome you either in February or in September to this program. Thank you very much.